San Diego is one of the epicenters for child trafficking. And they come through right here.
For decades, the border between the United States and Mexico has been a symbol of both opportunity and controversy. Spanning nearly 3,000 kilometers, the border separates two nations, but unites them in a complex social, economic, and security issues. The idea of building a wall dates back to the Secure Fence Act in 2006, under the George W. Bush administration, which marked the beginning of a process of physical control of the border. Since then, various administrations, both Democratic and Republican, have contributed to the project with contrasting vision and level of support. In recent years, illegal immigration has risen sharply, with just under 2.5 million apprehensions reported by the US Border Patrol in 2023.
China?
While the debate on the border security is intensifying, particularly in view of the presidential elections, the reality on the ground continues to preoccupy the entire population of the United States. In California, the constant flow of vehicles on the border between San Diego and Tijuana is a fine example of the cultural and economic interconnections between the two countries. Security is asserted by a presence of imposing concrete walls and sophisticated surveillance, making this section of the border one of the most secure in the state of California. In contrast, in some even semi-desert areas such as Jewel Valley, surveillance is much more limited. This creates significant gaps in security, where attempts to cross are often made by rudimentary means, such as crossing on foot on in all-terrain vehicles, thus increasing the challenges of the authorities.
Español? No, Español, Portuguese?
To see the situation with my own eyes, I traveled to where Cory Gautereaux, San Diego's county resident and founder of the GOAT initiative, was waiting for me. He recently gave a testimony to the House Judiciary Committee on September 6, where he denounced the shortcomings and issues associated with open borders.
With liberty and justice for all.
Tim Tebow sat up here and explained that 20,000 kids were missing. Then Tara Rodas came along and explained that 85,000 children were missing, migrant children were missing in this country. I'm here today to explain that we now have approximately 300,000 plus children missing in this country. That is unacceptable, the greatest country in the world.
According to him, open borders are a threat to national security, allowing the infiltration of foreign nations hostile to the U.S. interest and supporting drug smuggling networks and child trafficking.
We're in Boulevard, California. This is Jewel Valley Road. It goes all the way to the border. You can see the border wall here. Most people don't understand that it turns into this. I'm pretty good at finding documents and passports, ID cards, currency. That peso was not here last week, or whatever amount of money it is. So this is a new crew for the Mexican National Guard. They were here, they've been here a little over 2 weeks now. So I'm a little bit confused as to why that's cut, why that money's here. Maybe they're new and some people just slipped in through here, or I've been here long enough now that that's probably not a coincidence. There's probably a reason these people got through here with this new crew here, which is something we've kind of found out all along, is that everybody on the South is all working together, even the military. the ID cards and passports and stuff. So I started picking them up and, for lack of better terms, collecting them. Not a very fun thing to collect. And then I was talking to different agencies and nobody wanted them. So then I started picking them all up. And I have a ton of them. So this area has been pretty much picked clean of documents. We can look over here and see what we find. But I picked up hundreds of passports and ID cards like I was talking about. This area has been picked clean. Here's some paperwork. What we've learned is that they drop their paperwork here because if we can prove that they went through other areas where they could have claimed asylum and they didn't, we can deport them. They'll come through tonight. They usually come through at night. They used to just come through all the time, but it's very hot out here right now. It'll be over 100 degrees during the daytime. So they've been coming at night, and because it'll be in the 70s, sometimes 60 degrees at night right now, they're not prepared for a 40-degree temperature swing or the elements. I mean, there's animals out here. It's all kinds of stuff. So, I mean, I live out here. The people know me, as you saw. Border Patrol knows me. So, I think they believe I'm helping them out by what I'm doing, and they've been neutered at this point to try and do their job. They've been, you could say, castrated by the current administration, and it's just trickled down all the way to local command. They can't do their job in fear that they will lose their job, and they can't talk about it either. We're in a interesting time right now. From what my team has found is that they will be in houses, or they'll be in a spot in Tijuana, and then they will get bussed out here and then put on smaller vehicles, because you saw that the roads are not really made for cars, more SUVs or trucks. So they'll be put in trucks or vans. There's a burnt up van further down that way, and then they'll come pretty close. They used to come before the Mexican National Guard came out here. They would just pull up right here. We would be in those rocks right there, and they would pull up right here. But now they're starting way back, and they're a little bit more east than where we're at here right now. It's private property that way, and they'll come through the private property and then up the road a little bit. So the amount of people that have come through here has been insane, and a lot of it has moved from Texas and Arizona to here because Texas and Arizona are doing something about it. And then it got worse once Texas and Arizona started shutting things down, especially Texas, right? I saw a major shift of migrants coming through here. Right now it looks like they're playing soccer here, because this is a nice, fun sport. The NGOs that are making money off of this or facilitating this, some of them are worth nearly $1 billion, but they don't do anything to make money. So how can they be worth $1 billion? Well, it's all from government funding, all of it. My tax dollars paying for this. So a lot of people are fed up with it. And I have witnessed NGOs on this side talking to people on the south side, which would be colluding with someone from the south to come over here. I think that's called treason, but we're just doing it now, and everybody's looking the other way, and they're still taking my tax dollars. So the easiest thing for people to do that are confused about this or why it's happening, follow the money, because everything is public. These charitable organizations, everything's public. They have to. Nobody's looking into it. Well, how do we know what these people have when they're just coming in with no documents? So it's very backwards. It's extremely backwards. And There's so many things that are wrong with this picture that people don't understand. The child trafficking stuff is just absolutely horrible. So that's what the foundation that I created is all about, is to help stop child trafficking. People don't think that it happens in the United States, and San Diego is one of the epicenters for child trafficking. And they come through right here. Why is it this bad right now? It's never been this bad, ever. For asylum, you're supposed to go through a port of entry. This is not a port of entry. And so how do you fix the problem? Shut down the border, reinstate the Remain in Mexico policy, and deport everyone. You know, we're a nation of laws. If Trump gets elected, some of the people on his cabinet are going to say the same thing. Because I brought Tulsi Gabbard out here. And she had it was very eye-opening what she saw. People like to say, well, it's just a fence or wall that people can climb over it, or, you know. Yes, but what it does is creates time. So it creates time for the Border Patrol to show up and do their job. There's also sensors and cameras all along the border. And even if a small percentage of those are bad, the next September 11th is right around the corner, literally. And I, never forget, right? Everyone's forgot. The people that were in the service, a lot of them haven't forgot. That's most of the people on my team were in the service, because we know that it's right around the corner.
Despite the current challenges, significant progress has been made in restoring the rule of law and encouraging legal immigration. By 2023, the CBP-1 program, a mobile application for managing border exchanges, would have facilitated the reception of some 680,000 people, instead of risking their lives in the hands of smuggling networks. I'm Francis Denis for Libre Media, San Diego.